This week in Women in Sports, she made history at the Milan Olympics. Curler Cory Thiesse tells us about her time in Italy and how she hopes to inspire the next generation. Then a former Gopher finds purpose back on the court, how the college coach is preparing for a visit to the national stage. And later, a major milestone for a beloved high school tournament. Hear from two players who were there at the very beginning.
WCCO's Women in Sports, sponsored by Franson Bank and Trust.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Amelia Santaniello. Marielle has the week off. Here at WCCO, we're celebrating the highlights of female athletes in this new digital segment called Women in Sports. We'll share news stories with you every week right here as we do our part to give these athletes the recognition they deserve. Another gold medal is coming back to Minnesota, and this time it's from the Paralympics. Sydney Peterson won gold in the women's 10K para cross-country skiing race. It's her second medal of this year's game and her fifth overall. Peterson is originally from Lake Elmo and went to the same high school as Olympian Jessie Diggins. Recently, our Marielle Mose made the drive to the Duluth Curling Club to meet Cory Thiesse. She is now the first American woman to medal in curling after taking home silver in curling mixed doubles during the Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games. She brought us to the place where her curling journey began.
We are in the Duluth Curling Club. This is where I first started curling. It's where I train every day. It's a very special place to me. It's been a second home, second family to me.
Fans, friends, and fellow curlers packed the Duluth Curling Club throughout February to cheer on their hometown hero, Cory Thiesse, as she competed on the world stage. The dedication of these fans was real, as curling is the only Winter Olympic sport that competes every day. What was that endurance test like?
Yeah, we started mixed doubles a couple days before the opening ceremonies, and I finished with the women's on the last day of the Olympics. So I had one day off. So physically, I actually felt really good. It was just more so the mental toll that it kind of takes on you.
It helped to compete in front of a sold-out crowd, which Cory says gave her the energy she needed to push through to finish fourth with the women's team and win a silver medal with her mixed doubles partner, Corey Dropkin. A moment cemented in history.
To realize that I was the first woman standing up on that podium for the U.S., it's just really special, and I feel very proud to be that person and to be able to inspire the next generation.
At the Olympics, Cory was supported by her mom and dad. Her mom, a two-time U.S. senior national curling champion, introduced Cory to the sport when she was little and got her hooked.
My mom was my coach for a really long time as well, which is pretty special to be able to do that with her.
Wow, what a gift.
Yeah, it's amazing. I feel really lucky to have had that. We've traveled the world together.
Since being back in Duluth, she's seen an uptick in interest at the curling club already.
I see myself in so many of these young girls down here to, let them hold the medal and see their faces when they get to see it. It's been pretty special, and hope that we're helping people to realize their dreams and continue to grow our sport.
And we hope you'll check out this week's episode of the WCCO podcast, Women in Sports, because Cory joins Marielle there as well.
Actually, somebody at the Olympic trials in Sioux Falls in November mentioned to me that I would have the potential to be the first woman to be on the podium for the United States. And it had never crossed my mind that no woman had been on the podium because it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's been a long time coming. So I think for me, the biggest moment was after we beat Italy in the semifinal game. I made my last shot to win, and at that moment, we knew that we were going to be on the podium because we were playing in the gold medal game. We just didn't know what color we were going to have yet.
Cory talks more about the struggle to qualify for the Olympics and the sacrifice it takes to reach this elite level. You can catch that part of their conversation on this week's episode of Women in Sports. You will find it wherever you get your podcasts. A special celebration took place this week for another Minnesota Olympian. Fulton Brewing teamed up with hockey star Kelly Pannek to celebrate her second gold medal. The brewery launched its collab with the athlete, calling this new release Been There, Won That Again, two-time gold medal championship Shandy. To mark the release, they held a celebration at Fulton's North Loop Tap Room. The new University of St. Thomas Ice Arena was christened last week with its first college playoff tournament. Puck drop marked the first women's college semifinals game of the WCHA final face-off. Between the 4 teams who were duking it out in the semifinals, Minnesota, Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Minnesota State Mankato, there were 6 players who won the gold medal for the U.S. women's hockey team. So this tournament really was a chance to see some of those Olympians play in person. And it's not just players. St. Thomas might have been eliminated early, but their assistant coach, Allie Altman, is the goalie coach for Team USA. Our Marielle Mose recently had a chance to sit down with Allie and talk about life on the ice.
It was just an unbelievable experience, especially coming from that goaltending side of things.
Goalie coach Allie Altman helped Team USA make history, leading these 3 U.S. goaltenders, Erin Frankel and Gwyneth Phillips from the PWHL, and Wisconsin goalie Ava McNaughton, as they broke an Olympic record in Milan by maintaining a shutout streak of 331 minutes and 23 seconds across 5 consecutive shutouts.
You know, I always tell them I'm their #1 fan and their #1 support system, so that's where my focus was, is making sure that they were ready to do their jobs.
The Eagan native grew up playing between the pipes herself, her older brother the first one to put her in the net.
When I was, I would say, 3rd grade, I just remember him and his buddies needing someone to shoot on, and that's where little sister Allie comes in.
In high school, she played for Eagan and coach Scott Darwitz, father of Olympian and Hall of Famer Natalie Darwitz, who inspired Altman in big ways.
Like, hey, like, if you dream it, if you see it, you can be there one day.
Then she went on to play for Minnesota State. The Mavericks are back in the WCHA final face-off this year for the first time since 2009, which was back when Altman was on their roster.
I haven't decided if I'm going to whip out the old jersey or not in the new St. Thomas building. I think a couple of players might look at me weird if I rock a Maverick jersey.
The WCHA is a powerhouse women's college hockey conference with 5 staff members and 6 players contributing to Team USA's gold.
I just really hope that the women's game continues to grow and these women get what they deserve.
It's called WoMN and it's Minnesota made. It's a popular amateur adult hockey league for women. They held their championships last week and our Mike Max caught up with the league's president. Take a look.
It's another day and another hockey game for Beth Champlin. She's the goaltender. And she never expected that she'd ever play hockey.
How did you become a goalie that even though you'd never played hockey?
I played soccer for a long time, since college, became a goalie, and I had some teammates who switched to hockey, and they said, can you come play goalie for us? I said, oh, you guys, I can't skate. And I got on the ice, and first 10 minutes, I'm trash-talking the forwards coming at me.
And you say, this is my comfort zone, huh?
This is fun.
She fell in love with the sport, and the sport fell in love with her. For all the right reasons.
Hi, kids. Are we in overtime on one of the rinks? In OT, I love me a good shootout. Hockey is just so freaking much fun.
Really?
It's a fun game.
But on this day,
it's good to see you, goalie sister. Keep it up.
Even in her hockey equipment, she goes up to do some administrative duties.
5th place.
Yes, she is the president of WoMN.
She can get there. She's young enough to still get faster and better.
And this is a 40-team tournament that is the crescendo to the season.
We finally figured out how to score. Hattie.
Oh, a hat trick? Yeah.
Hattie. I got so much from the game and from WoMN at a time in my life when I kind of needed something fun.
Yep.
And so now, being the president, I just want to give back.
So they come from all over to play and to participate, and for her, participation is the key. Because when you participate in sport, at any level, at any age, there are things you get from it that you can get nowhere else.
Instant friends. You get on a team, you've got a group of friends. Some teams have played together for 25 years. They go to the cabin together in the summer.
This week, the Gopher women's basketball team went into the Big Ten tournament, the #4 seed, because they beat 5th-seeded Ohio State 2 weeks ago. As they always do, though, Ohio State made them work. The Gophers took advantage of some rare open space, but they couldn't overcome the quickness of the Bucks. Ohio's Cambridge sisters are a big part of that. The Gophers had it within 3 and a chance to get it to overtime, but Ohio ultimately beat them in the paint. The Gophers are officially eliminated from the Big Ten tournament, 60-55. They now have to shift focus to the NCAA tournament. The only time the Gopher women's team made the Final Four was back in 2004. Lindsey Whalen was a focal point of that era, but another local was just coming into her own. The then Shannon Bolden is now Shannon Nelson, and she is still heavily invested in basketball, only now as a college coach. Our Mike Max has more.
It started by winning gold at Marshall High School.
Bolden with the finish.
I just think it was such a fun experience to be able to do something like that for my hometown where I was born and raised, and experience that with my friends who I grew up with. Kind of setting that tone for Marshall girls basketball was really cool because they've just continued to be so successful year after year.
Then she did it for her home state, an integral part of the Gophers' only Final Four team in program history.
The peak of my basketball playing career, and I think any of us who experienced it would tell you, and I'm sure we told you at the time, that what was so enjoyable was like we just wanted to keep playing basketball with each other. We enjoyed playing with each other so much.
I still want us to learn to run in transition, okay?
She got married, moved to Thief River Falls, was working at Northland Community College when they needed a head coach in 2010. And guess what?
And I said that I would step in and coach for a year just to kind of get them through it. And I really loved it, obviously, because I've stuck with it ever since.
But that's just part of it. What Nelson was drawn to was much of what she got out of her playing career. It checks a lot of boxes that speak to her personality. What is it that you have fallen in love with it? What is it about the game as a coach that maybe you love that was different as a player?
Oh, it's the players, honestly. It's being able to have an impact in such a different way where you are able to see them grow. And I feel like I'm guiding them and kind of helping them navigate their first couple years away from home. And obviously the competitive part of it is still a big thing because I love basketball and I love to compete. So you kind of get to still have those competitive juices flowing at the same time.
Yes, life in the North for Shannon, her husband, and 2 children is a good fit.
We live a little bit south of town on the river. It's nice and quiet here, and we really enjoy that. We have an 8-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son, and it's a great school system, and they are just thriving in this area as well. And it's a great community that has really embraced us and our family.
And while she's coached, she's watched her alma mater this year, a team that is in the top 20 heading into the Big Ten tournament, and that leads to an obvious question. And last is the Gopher women going to the Big Ten tournament, and then they'll be in the NCAA tournament no matter how they do in the Big Ten. What advice do you give them about going on the NCAA tournament ride?
Oh gosh, try to be in the moment. Honestly, I think them continuing that kind of mindset and then playing for each other and kind of enjoying the ride, because I think what sustained us through it all was working to play together and playing for each other and kind of making that bigger than the moment.
The high school girls state basketball tournament began this week at Williams Arena and Maturi Pavilion. Before the bracket was decided, WCCO caught an exciting game as one team punched their ticket to state for a repeat performance. Our Ren Clayton has the story.
Mayer Lutheran and West Lutheran, conference rivals and section rivals, playing with a trip to state on the line. Mayer Lutheran won the first 2 times these teams met this season, but the game started slow. West Juliet Rober scored the first points a few minutes into the game. The Warriors had a burst where they could not miss from 3. Veda Makepeace kept hitting from long range. But as the half wore on, Mayer Lutheran pressed their advantage. Off a turnover, Hallie Hunter hits from short range to take the lead. She had 24 points to lead everybody. And they would not trail again. Isabel Kevaney, the steal and the bucket on the other end. Mayer led by 8 at halftime. And the advantage would grow. This time, Isabel feeds her twin, Clara Kevaney. Nice find. Clara had 14 points. And Mayer Lutheran wins 64-45 and are going to state.
We just picked it up. We started playing off of each other and knowing what each other needed. And eventually that played out after the second half, and after we talked about what we needed to do, and it just worked out in the end.
It feels amazing. Just being able to come back here and win it again and get back there and spend more time with their team, it feels amazing.
So Mayer Lutheran is going to their 3rd consecutive state tournament. They are now on a 14-game win streak. In Coon Rapids, Ren Clayton, WCCO Sports.
This year's girls state basketball tournament is a major milestone. It's actually the 50th anniversary. Our Mike Max recently caught up with some of the original participants from 1976. Take a look.
we were playing our own games.
Kathy Island Madison and Lisa Lissamore are reflecting today on 50 years ago when they got to be part of the first girls' state basketball tournament.
It was surreal then, and it's surreal now, thinking that was 50 years ago. And we were just young kids that got on a bus.
The games were played at Met Center, and that seemed big time.
We stayed in hotels, and we were playing in this huge, back then, ice arena.
The footage is a bit grainy, but the memories are strong.
You know, I tell people growing up, people always want to know why I never joined a sorority. And I said, because my friendships are these women that are connecting through sports. And for 50, you still like me, right? I was checking, just checking.
What it created for them were friendships and opportunities they did not know would exist.
We definitely wanted them to understand that there's more to you can do more than coach, and you can do more than officiate. You can work for the Timberwolves because they were here at that time.
And as they look back, it's not the wins that matter, it's bigger than that. Relationships that have lasted 50 years and are still going strong.
For us, it was just surreal to be able to have a tournament for the girls' tournament and to meet lifelong friends for 50 years.
50 years, oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Thanks for watching this week's Women in Sports. I'm Amelia Santaniello, and we'll be back with more great stories next week.